Okay, so let's have a look at the following questions. So this one, so 2 part A. So put these in 3 matching groups. So what we want to have is we want to have 3 groups where we match up, let's say for example, like we match up fractions and percentages, or fractions and decimals, or percentages and decimals that are the same. So what I would do is with this is I would convert, so I convert everything to fractions. So what I would do first of all, and then we can actually start to compare them. So if we take this 80%, so how do we convert it? So 80% means, okay, so bear with me now. So 80% means 80 out of 100, and if we want to write that as a fraction, we just write 80 over 100. So we can simplify that if we divide it by 10. So it's going to be equal to, if we divide the top by 10 and the bottom by 10, it's going to be 8 over 10. So let's have a look. Do we have any 8 over 10 fractions there? No, we don't. So we can simplify it some more. So we can say that 2 will go into the top. So 2 will go into 8 4 times, and 2 will go into 10 5 times. So we can say it's 4 over 5, or 4/5. So 80% is equal to 8 over 100, which we can break it down or simplify to 4 over 5. Do we have any? So we have this, so we have 1 here, so we have this, so 4 over 5 here. Okay, so we can say that this and this, okay, are group 1. So we'll just call them group. So group 1, okay, so, or we can just write it here. So another way you can say is that 4 over 5 is equal to 80%. Okay, so that's one group, and that takes those 2 numbers out of the equation. Okay, so we'll call that group 1. So let's continue on with this. So if let's look at the decimal here, so 0.8. So if we want to turn that into a fraction, 0.8. So remember, this is the tens, the tens section. So 0.8, what's that going to be equal to as a fraction? It's going to be 8 over 10. So have we any 8 over 10s as fractions there? We don't. So again, we can simplify this some more. So that's going to be equal to, so if I divide this top by 2, I can divide the bottom. So 2 will go into the top, 2 will go into the top, 2 will go into 8 4 times, 2 will go into 5, 2 will go into 10 5 times. Okay, so it's 4 over 5. So we can see here that this is, so it's 4 over, so 0.8 is 4 over 5. So we can say, what we can do is we can include this as well, this decimal, within this first group. Okay, and we can just write like this is equal to 0.8. So this is actually our first group. So we include these three numbers. Okay, so then if we have a look, so let's have a look at 75. So if we take 75, for example, so 75 here, we convert that into a fraction. So 75 as a fraction, it's going to be 75 over 100. So can we simplify that anymore? Okay, so we know that 5 will divide into 75 and 5 will divide into 100. So 5 will divide into 100 20 times, and 5 will divide into 75. So if we take 75 divided by 5, that's equal to 15. Okay, so it'll go 15 times. Do we have any? We don't have any. Okay, so we can simplify this some more. So we can divide 5. So 5 will go into 15 3 times, and 5 will go into 20 4 times. So 3 over 4. So have we got any 3 over? So we see here that we have this 3 over 4 here. Okay, we have this 75%, and then we can probably include this 0.75 as well. So remember, 0.75 is going to be equal to 75%. So we can include those three. So let's say another group would be, what do we say? So 3 over 4 is equal to 75%, which is equal to 0.75. Okay, so that would be our second group, and then that just leaves us with these other three here. So these would also be in a group of 3. So 40%, 4 over 10, and 2 over 5. So we can call, so let's say if we call, so this is group 2. Okay, bear with me. Oh. So this is group 2. And then group 3 then. I'll just write group 3 over here. So group 3 then would be, what do we say it was? So it's going to be 3 over 4. No, which one do we say it was? So let's have a look here. So it's going to be, so this, and this is one group. This, and this is another group. So you're talking about 2 over 5. So 2 over 5, 40, and 4 over 10. So 2 over 5 is equal to 40% is equal to 4 over 10. Okay, and that'll be your third group. So that'll be the first. That'll be the answer to the first question. So what it's really looking for there is just your understanding of percentages and fractions, and how you can have fractions that are equal to each other. They have different denominators and numerators, but nonetheless they're the same as each other. So that's the first question. So that's how you go about tackling that question. So if we have a look then at the second question, so what is it? State whether each of the following is true or false. So what you're doing here is we're looking at BIMDAS. So if we remember BIMDAS, and I'm just going to take these out so that we have room then to work on question 2. So remember BIMDAS. So BIM. Okay, so you have brackets, indices, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So what we can do, so we can just, so brackets, indices, so remember 2 to the power 2, so that's an indice. Okay, or you can have the square root, that's also an indice. Multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So these are operations. So what this question is asking you to do is, it's asking you to take into account the order of operation. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you carry out the proper order of operation when you're dealing with this. So if we take the first one there, so we have, so inside brackets we have 16 plus 3 multiplied by 2. And then this is divided by 11 minus 1, and we're saying that that's equal to 1. So what you have to do is you have to carry out the various operations that are at play here. So you have to follow this rule, okay? So the first rule that you do, okay, so what it says is, this tells you the order in which you do these problems. So the first one, it says that brackets is the first order of operation. So if there's brackets inside your problem, you have to do what's inside the brackets first. So we can see here that we have to do this piece first. Now if we go inside the brackets, we can see that we have 16 plus 3, and then we have 3 multiplied by 2. So which one of these do we have to do first? Well, if we look at our order of operations tells us that multiplication, that operation is above addition. So we have to do the multiplication piece first. So you'd have to multiply the 3 multiplied by the 2 first. So we can do that. So it's going to be 16, and if we plus 3 multiplied by 2, that's going to be equal to plus 6. Okay, so this is still inside brackets, so then we have to continue and carry out this operation. So then inside your bracket 16 plus 6 is going to be equal to 22. And now we have divided by 11 minus 1. Now we see here again, we have to be careful, we have to follow the order of operation. So we've done all the calculations inside the bracket. So I'm just leaving this inside the bracket just for clarity. So then we have 22 divided by 11, and then we have 11 minus 1. So which one do we do first? Well, again, we go back to our order of operations, and we see that, so this is division here, we see that the operation of division comes before the operation of subtraction. So we have to do this division piece first. So it's going to be 11, so it's going to be 22 divided by 11. So 22 divided by 11 is equal to 2. Okay, and we'll just write this so it's equal to 1. So 22 divided by 11, that's going to go in 2 times. So it's going to be 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. And we can see that 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So this is equal to 1. So therefore we can say that this first operation, this is true. Okay, so it is true. So when we actually work it out, we've worked out that it does work out as 1. So this side here, when you work it all the way through, we can see that it works out as 1. But again, this problem, what it's testing you on is your understanding of BIMDAS and the order of operation. Remember, the operations that are at the top, they come first in the hierarchy. The operations at the bottom come last. So if you have a problem like this, where you have multiple operations at play, you have to do the brackets first and then work your way down through whatever the lower operations are then within the problem. So let's have a look at the other ones. So the second one then, so we have 15 multiplied by 3. So it is 15 multiplied by 3 divided by, and then we have brackets, 6 plus 3 plus 1 is equal to 6. So again, if we have a look at this, so we have brackets here, so we have to do what's inside the brackets first. That's the first order, that's the first operation. So 6 plus 3 is 9. Okay, so that's going to be 9. I'll just keep that in brackets, plus 1 divided by 3 multiplied by 15. So now we see here that we have 3 operations at play, and that equals 6, just to keep it in line with what we're doing. So we see here we've 3 operations in play. We have multiplication, we have the operation of multiplication, the operation of division, and the operation of addition. So what do we do first? Do we multiply the 15 by the 3, or do we divide the 3 by the 9, or do we add the 1 onto the 9? So again, we go back to our order of operation, and we see here that multiplication comes before division. So therefore, we go with multiplication first. So we multiply the 15 multiplied by 3. That's what we do. We do that first. So if we clear this, so 15 multiplied by 3. So that's not right. So 50 multiplied by 3 is equal to 45. So then so this is going to be 45 divided by 9 and then plus 1. So again, the same thing. So we have the operations here. So we have division, and so do we divide the 45 by the 9 first, or do we add the 9 and the 1 together? Which operation do we do first? So again, we use BIMDAS. BIMDAS tells us that we should be doing the division first. So we take our 45 and divide it by 9 first. So let's do that. So 45 divided by 9 is equal to 5. Okay, so that's going to be equal to, so this will be 5 plus 1. So that's equal to 6. So 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. And we can see there then the last operation we do is going to be adding the 5 and 1 together. So that's equal to 6 is equal to 6. So therefore, this second one is true as well. Okay, so that's that one. So then if we have a look at this, let's just delete that and move on to the next one. So the next one is, so we have 100 divided by 25 multiplied by bracket 6 plus 2 is equal to 26. So again, we follow the order of operation. So we have a bracket here, so this comes first, so we have to add these together. So 6 plus 2 is 8, so it's going to be 8 multiplied by 25 divided by 100, okay, is equal to 26. So again, our order of operation, so we have a division here. So division, we have division and we have multiplication. So the multiplication comes first. We have to multiply the 25 by the 8, and that will give us, so 25 multiplied by 8, that's equal to 200. Okay, so we have, this is 200 divided by 100. Okay, so 200 divided by 100. So 200 divided by 100, that's going to be equal to, so if we take 100 and then divide it by 200, it's going to be equal to 0.5. Okay, so it's going to be 0.5 is equal to 26. So that's not equal to 26, so therefore this last part is false. So false. Okay, so that's how you do those type of questions. If the result is false, give the correct answer. Okay, so if the result is false, then, so this is your correct answer here. So the correct answer should be, it should be 0.5. That's what the answer should be. So just delete this. Okay, so the next question then is find the value of each expression when n is equal to -4. Use the code to change two letters, rearrange the letters to make a European country. So basically all you're doing is you're letting n equal -4, and then you are working out the problems here. And then whatever answer you get, you're aligning that then with a letter, okay? Because it's kind of like a code. So let's have a look through this and let's work it out. Okay, so the first one then, so with this one, so you have 4n plus 2, and n is equal to -4. So when you have 4n like this, that means 4 multiplied by n. So it's going to be 4 multiplied by -4 plus 2. So remember, this is plus 4 multiplied by -4. So 4 and 4 is 8, and 8 and 8 is 16. So this is going to be -16 plus 2. So if we're on -16 and we plus 2, we're going to be on -14. And we can see, if we have a look up here, so we have B is -14. So let's just put our first letter over here for now. Okay, so that's that one done. So then if we look at this one, so 3n plus 10. So again, this is 3 multiplied by -4 plus 10. So it's plus 3 multiplied by -4. So 3 fours is 12. So that's going to be -12 plus 10. If we're on -12 and we plus 10, we're going to end up on -2. So our second letter then is -2. So we have A here. So we'll just put our letter over here. So BA. So let's go and let's work out the next one. So you have just 2n. So it's just 2n, and if n is -4, that's going to be, that's going to be 2 multiplied by -4, which is going to be equal to 2 multiplied, remember unlike signs give minus, so the answer, so this is plus 2 multiplied by -4, so the answer is going to be minus 8. And if we have a look, have we got -8? So we have -8. We have -8 over here. So we're going to bring down this letter. So it's I. So we'll just put the letter here. Okay, so that's that one. The next one then is going to be n minus 1, and I'll just do it inside here. Well, actually, what we can do is we can get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. So it gives us space to work out the rest of them. So So if we have, so what we're doing is it's going to be minus, so it's going to be n minus 2. So that's going to be minus 4 minus 2, which is going to be equal to minus 6. And we have, so n is our letter. So we have n. Okay, so that's that. So okay, so then we have this one. So we have minus 6 minus, and then we have in brackets minus 4. So remember, this is a double negative. So minus, so this is a double negative. Okay, so what happens is this will change into a positive. Because what this is like saying, it's like saying that there's a 1 here. So it's 1 minus 1 multiplied by minus 4. Like signs make it positive. So this becomes minus 6 plus 4. And minus 6 plus 4. If we're on minus 6 and we plus 4, we end up on minus 2. So we'll have another a. So minus 2. So that's that one. And then we have this last one. So it's n plus 2. So it's going to be n plus 2. So the n, so it's going to be minus 4 plus 2, which is equal to, if we're on minus 4 and we plus 2, minus 4 plus 2, that will leave us on minus 2. So we have another a. Okay, and I think we forgot this one here, so we'll just put this one in as well. And so I'll just make some space in here. So it's going to be, so it's n minus 1. N is equal to minus 4 minus 1. So that's going to be equal to, if we're on minus 4 and we minus 1, it's going to be minus 5. Minus 5, that gives us the letter L. Okay, so we have the letter L. Okay, so if we think about the letters that we have then, so we've B, A, I, L, L, N, A, A. Okay, what kind of countries do we have? So let's have a look. Okay, so it has to be a country within Europe. Okay, so if we bring this over here, so let's have a look. So what European countries do we have that have those letters? Okay, I would say, let's check for Albania. I think that was within Europe. Albania. So let's check that one and see. Okay, and there we go. So Albania. So that's the country that we're talking about. So it's a European country, and we can see here that it's within Europe. So Albania would be the answer to that question. Okay, so that's it. So that's how you do those questions. So hopefully that clarifies and helps a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll work through some more of the other questions as well. Okay, so guys, just keep up the good work and well done.